On episode 4 of the newly rebranded show, Cuesta Dos, my brother David and I have a bunch of topics to talk about. First, we talk about the shocking announcement of Andrew Luck's retirement. We continue to talk about Antonio Brown and his helmet saga. XFL's revealed their logos and teams. We touch on that. Dwight Howard signing with the Lakers for round number 2. A poll that the NFL rookies voted on over who is going to have the best career. And we continue to touch on Zeke and his situation over the contract, Team USA and their stunning loss to Australia, and ESPN situation around NBA Countdown. But without any further ado, it is intro time.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1. It's the loneliest number since the number.
What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to the show formerly known as Cuesta's Corner, the new, improved, reinvented Cuesta Dos. With me, Alex Cuesta, my brother, David Cuesta. Say hi, David.
Hello.
And we are bringing you the same thing that we were bringing during Cuesta's Corner. I am super happy that that stupid name is gone. But we're going to be bringing you the same updates in sports. We're going to bring you our favorite topics throughout the week, and we're going to talk about them, and we have better opinions than you, so listen to them. We're going to jump right into it. First, foremost, if you're a sports fan, you know this happened. Andrew Luck just retired. What?
Yeah, there's not much more to say to that than what. I mean, I was sitting here with a couple of my friends who were watching the Jets game. I'll just give you a little backstory on how we found out. Joe's on his phone, gets notifications from Twitter. I guess he has notifications on for like Adam Schefter and stuff like
and
that.
that's Joe Hackett. We've heard him before on the show, if anyone needs to know.
Yes. And he's looking. He goes, wait, that doesn't seem right. He goes, guys, Andrew Luck just retired. We're like, no, that's fake. No, who said that? He goes, Adam Schefter tweeted it. So we go to our phones and start looking. We're like, wait a minute. And it is one of the most surprising things I think that's happened in a long time in sports, like with someone just leaving right before the beginning of the season.
I was waiting for it to be like a story from The Onion. Like, I was really waiting for The Onion to be like The Onion Sports to like get everyone again. But no, this is legit. So I have two kind of emotional standpoints from here, because right now I'm an emotional wreck over a guy I've never met in my life. One, I am absolutely pissed because I am a fan. I am selfish. And I just want to see Andrew Luck play some more. He is one of the best quarterbacks when healthy in the game. I just had on Kevin Bowen, who is a sports reporter in the Indianapolis area, and we were talking that
oh my God.
A Super Bowl year for them potentially, because he had a great season last season, and Luck can finally get over the hump, get his Super Bowl, cement himself as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time because he has all the talent, and he retires. And the second part of me on this is I get it. The guy's been through so many injuries. He's been through so much in his career, and he's mentally and physically drained. And before he becomes a vegetable, he wants to walk away and be able to have his family. So I get both aspects, but the selfish fan in me just kind of hates him right now.
See, I don't hate him. I mean, I love Andrew play. I mean, I think everyone, if you didn't take notice of him before, like when he first came in the league, you took notice after he won that playoff game against the Chiefs, 28 down. Like, most everyone became a fan of him other than Chiefs fans. So everyone, I think, is a little bit hurt. They're like, I mean, it's just taking so much away from the NFL. But you have to understand it. How many times has Andrew Luck not been in during the season because he's just been hurt? The man's never on the field, but when he is, he's extremely good. But he's never on the field, and that's gotta wear you down.
Yeah, and it kind of, if you're a Colts fan, this has to hurt because Jacoby Brissett was a capable backup, but he's never, even when he was on the Patriots in a great situation, not a great starter.
Yeah.
So now you're going to start from plan zero, where you have Marlon Mack there, you have T.Y. Hilton there, you have guys that can make plays, And now who the hell is going to get them the ball? Who's going to do this for them? They finally have just started beefing up the line on offense to try and protect Luck. They have to start from scratch. If I'm a Colts fan, I'm kind of pissed about this.
Yeah, you gotta be a little unhappy. I thought it was a Super Bowl year for them, at least a chance at the Super Bowl with the team they have. I mean, plus how much of the cap did they spend? They didn't even spend that much of the cap. I think they still have a future that they can go ahead and use. But like, it's a lot. And I mean, one of the things that, you know, I saw it on Twitter. I'm very sad. General Andrew Luck, one of the best Twitter pages, then he can't be here anymore. There's so many things that are gone with Andrew Luck retiring.
So many great things just besides him. And he was a consummate pro as well. He's a great example of if you're trying to show a young kid how to react as a pro and how to be as a pro, it's Andrew Luck. He's one of those guys where he's never in trouble. He's always doing the right thing. He's always rehabbing to his injuries. I'm just concerned that this is going to fuel the fire more of let's get football less violent. The whole crowd of let's get football out of like, because when you see a guy in his prime like this retiring, it kind of fuels that fire of, hey, this game is too dangerous. We need to make it safer.
I don't know about that. I mean, he was just very unlucky. He really was. Yeah, exactly.
Pun intended there?
Yeah, partly. But, yeah, no, he was literally unlucky. Like, it just happened at all the wrong times. Like, he just kept getting injured. And it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, he most likely made the right move for himself. You don't want to keep getting hurt, even with your line getting better.
I know. Well, overall, I think me and you can both agree. We wish Andrew Luck nothing but the best. I wouldn't be surprised if in a year we see him come back. The itch will be there again. He's still in his prime condition. He'll be healed from his injury. He'll have time to think. Wouldn't be surprised if we see an Andrew Luck coming out of retirement. But if he doesn't, thank you for everything you did, Andrew Luck. The fan of me is still disappointed, but overall, nothing but happiness the rest of your life. You're a fantastic player, even though you're going to be the biggest what-if story in the name of the world because you had all the talent in the world, but what did you really accomplish? Never an MVP with all the talent, never a Super Bowl champion with all that talent. So he's just going to go, and he's not even going to be at Marino level because Marino at least accomplished a lot. Andrew Luck is going to end his career as one of the most talented guys that never accomplished anything.
It's the weirdest thing. It really is.
We'll be able to tell our kids, like, we saw one of potentially the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but there was not a single accolade to prove that. Yeah. People are going to think we're crazy, and we're going to be like, we remember how amazing Andrew Luck was, and they're going to be like, yeah, how was that?
Exactly. What Andrew Luck? Who that guy that retired early? What, a guy that did nothing? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. We'll be talking about this for a long time.
Well, you know what? As bad as I feel for Colts fans, I don't feel bad for you. You went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. You had one bad year. So,
well, they did. I was going to say they had Curtis Panther for a year.
Enjoy being a regular franchise again because you're not going to get another great quarterback probably for a little bit, even though who the hell knows? Jim Irsay, you're going to go drink your face off now. We're going to get a great Jim Irsay TMZ video out of all this.
Yeah.
I guarantee that.
At least he has more reasoning to get just under the influence at this point.
Yeah, his reason was existence for the most of his life. So yeah. I'm alive and I have a lot of money. Let me get wasted and make a fool of myself.
Yeah.
Needs to be mentioned, quick aside, this wasn't on the itinerary per se, but quick aside, I have to mention two things. One, a good thing, David, happy late birthday.
Thank you very much.
The 22nd was your birthday. See, I'm a good brother. I remember these things.
Yeah, I know.
But happy late birthday. You're 23-year-old, right? 23?
Yes.
Do I remember that correctly? Okay, you're old. But on a sad note, that was our happy note. Sad note, rest in peace, Cedric Benson. 36 years old, motorcycle accident. I didn't read all the details. I just know that he passed tragically. Played for the Jets a little, made his name with the Bengals. One of the best collegiate running backs of all time. It's just too young. 36 years old. That's 6 years older than me. That is far too young for anyone to be passing away. So rest in peace, Cedric Benson.
That was really sad. I remember watching Cedric Benson play.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, and it's something that, you know, it's, I don't know. Motorcycles are dangerous. Automobiles are all dangerous. Any given moment we step into one, we can have that chance. But thoughts and prayers to his family and to any of his friends and to the rest of the league, because that's a member of the Brotherhood. So jumping back into someone that has hijacked the beginning of our, Cuesta Brothers podcast series.
He's in every single one because there's always something going on with him.
Antonio Brown. What a guy. What a guy. So the helmet thing is still going on. I don't think he's going to retire because of it anymore. I think that's gone.
He's not.
But it's such a weird roller coaster because there's times where it seems like he doesn't want to play, but then every time that starts to rear his head, he always is going to play. So what had happened? I'm going to give a quick recap. So Mike Mayock, the Raiders GM, came out in a press conference and basically laid the gauntlet down and was like, Antonio Brown, done all we could. We're done. You're either all in or all out. Figure out where you want to be. Basically saying, we will get rid of you if we have to. We will eat the money. We don't care. If you're going to be a cancer to this team, you're gone. So what does he do? He files another grievance against the NFL for not being able to wear his shut air. I don't even know. It's like one that I used to wear in high school. And it is one of the oldest helmets. And he filed a grievance. He wanted a calendar year grace period that he says he didn't get, which guys like Tom Brady and other players they mentioned last year had a grace period. But after this past year, the NFL ended that. So Antonio Brown is trying to now extend it and get a grace period year. I think he's going to lose that. It came out, I think, yesterday. Today's Sunday, the 25th. It came out like yesterday or 2 days ago that they're going to release the result of it. I think he's going to lose that grievance.
He's going to lose it. I don't think he's going to win that.
But you know what, though? Overall, in the end, he was at practice wearing a league standard helmet.
Yeah.
And Gruden came out and said he's confident that he'll play regardless of the grievance and saying that Antonio Brown's all in. What the hell's the point of all this if he's just going to play?
I don't know, for fun. For funsies, I have no idea. Like it. Honestly, I want it to keep going because he gives us content. Like at this point, he is content, and it needs to keep happening. But I mean, I still think he's gonna play. He's gonna be all in. I really don't see Andrew Luck retiring and then all of a sudden AB not playing football. Like I don't see it happening.
That would be absolutely insane. Now, I'm going to call Antonio Brown, keep doing this until the strike happens. I'm still pushing for that strike. I want the NFL strike to happen.
No.
We need Keanu Reeves.
No.
But AB, I don't get it. If he's just going to play, Antonio Brown, if you're just going to play, then shut up. Just go play. Just use whatever helmet they give you. And you know what? This gives you fodder. If you miss a game-winning catch or something, you could just blame it on the helmet now and blame it on the NFL.
Yeah, it's true. You have a forever excuse.
You know what, though? But I think we're going to make a pact. Let's try not to talk about Antonio Brown next week. How about that?
No. If something ridiculous happens, we have to do it. Because honestly, it's just fun. It's fun to follow. I'll give him that. AB is great entertainment.
Antonio Brown is the first player ever traded from the NFL to the XFL because he is a pain in the ass.
That would be hilarious.
If someone trades, like, they trade AB for like Johnny Manziel just to get them the hell out of here. But speaking of the XFL, Dev, what do we got there?
Yes, we have the XFL logos and team names all came out. All with nice little reveal videos. I watched a couple of them. They're pretty cool. They're supposed to pump you up. They're not bad. I like them.
Yep.
So want me to go over all of them?
Yeah, run down the names and everything, and then we'll kind of talk about the logos.
Okay. There's the Dallas Renegades, a little blue and black with the red. Houston Roughnecks, LA Wildcats, New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, Tampa Bay Vipers, and DC Defenders.
I have some that I like, some that are awesome, and some that I hate.
All right, which one? Go ahead. Which ones do you like that you think are awesome and that you hate?
I like the Houston Roughnecks. I don't know how many people like it, but I love the throwback to the Houston Oilers.
They look like the Oilers logo. Yeah,
it does. I think that's cool. I think the DC Defenders, it kind of reminds me of a soccer shield.
It is
pretty cool.
So much like a soccer shield.
Now, St. Louis Battlehawks kind of tear me because the name is stupid, but the logo reminds me of the Saint Seiya anime. And if anyone is an anime fan, they're gonna look at that and get that. But it like has the sword with, or even what is it from? Was it Kit from Super Smash Bros. Where he's like the angel and stuff?
Pit.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's
gross.
what that reminds me of too. So that's cool. One that I absolutely hate. The Dallas Renegades logo is. I think you can find that in Madden.
I don't know if it's Madden, but it's in a sports game. I have seen that. I get it's something at least very similar to that. I know exactly what you're saying.
Now, the New York Guardians, there is, I think, a New Jersey lacrosse team named the New Jersey Pride. I think it's a lacrosse team, one of them. I think they have the same exact logo, almost.
Really?
It's close. It's close. So that's kind of a discrepancy. I kind of talk through all of them. LA is simple. I like LA. Seattle Dragons, you can't go wrong with Dragons. And the Vipers one is just cool and nifty. It's just a simple V with the fangs. That's going to be cool. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the uniforms here. David, give me a little rundown of your shebang with all these.
Well, I mainly agree with you. I mean, I like the Houston throwback. It's a little busy, but it's all right. The LA, I feel like LA is a little too simple, honestly. You could have done so much with Wildcats. Maybe they have like an alt logo that they might put on the helmet because I feel like LA just on a helmet. It's not really creative.
It's kind of a Rams color like throwback though. When the old Los Angeles Rams had that, that's kind of like a tribute to them.
Yeah, but you also have to see how the uniform comes out and everything.
You do.
So we'll see how that turns out. The Dallas Renegades, I do like the color scheme, but the logo, man, the logo, it's literally from a sports game.
Where is the Trenton Tiny Turtles? That's all I need to say.
We need them. We definitely need them. But
no one's going to understand that.
But I mean, the Guardians are pretty cool. I didn't know about the lacrosse team, but I think it's a pretty cool one. I mean, they had all these like gargoyles in the reveal video. If you saw that, and that was pretty sweet.
Yep.
Battlehawks, awful name. I don't know why it's the Battlehawks. Why not just be whatever? The Seattle Dragons, I think, is awesome. I really like that dragon design. It looks like someone actually cared. It looks like a tattoo. Like someone could get a tattoo of that, and it would look pretty fucking cool. But Tampa Bay Vipers, I think it's very – see, that I think they did the minimalistic approach better than the LA Wildcats.
Yeah.
Like it looks better for the Vipers. And DC Defenders, it's literally a soccer shield.
Which is fine by me. That's fine.
I'm fine with it, but that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And, I mean, it brings something unique to a football logo. I'll give them that.
Now, two things I want to do with this. If the Seattle Dragons, if they just basically steal Boise State's alternate helmet, where it's just a giant dragon head on the side, like Boise State does the giant, like the horse head, that would be fantastic.
That would be pretty sweet.
Number two, if St. Louis Battlehawks has a alternate logo where they basically have a armored up hawk holding that sword with wings, I'm cool. I'd be cool with that. That would be like the Lord of the Rings hawks just armored up with a cool ass sword. I'd be okay with that logo at that point.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to see how they do the uniforms because their helmets could be very different with the logos on them. Like they don't have to put these logos. I don't want them to. I want them to try something different.
I feel like the Guardians are going to go with your typical New York style and figure out some way to put NY on it.
Yeah.
Because that's just what New York teams do. They need to be logoed New York because that actually helps the marketability.
Yeah.
I just looked up the New Jersey Pride. They're okay because they are out of the Major League Lacrosse. They ended in 2008. So there is no theft of logo, but it's similar. It's different enough, but it's similar.
Yeah.
Overall, this excites me. I think the XFL is doing it right.
I hope it can work.
Here's the difference, though. Vince McMahon is a billionaire, and he is fine with money, so I don't think money is going to be the issue of this league. He understands the business aspect of paying people, even though I've heard the WWE is not the greatest place for superstars to work.
Yeah.
But he understands the health insurance side. He understands the payment and getting pay on time. So this isn't his first rodeo in either running a football league or running a company. So there is that benefit, but we shall see.
It's going to be a very interesting league. I hope it works out because, I mean, I think it'd just be fun if it works out, but we'll see. We'll see.
I hope they get Manziel and Kaepernick. I think that would be sweet.
I mean, they could probably swing Manziel. I don't know if Cap wants to play for a spring league. It didn't seem like he wanted to.
And also, did you see that Tim Tebow is being considered to be the starting quarterback of one of the teams? I forget which team it was, but they're considering trying to bring Tebow in.
That's if he wants to.
Come on now. He keeps saying he got hurt this year with the Mets. He's not making the pro team.
That's true.
Especially with the rise of the young guys. Before when they were
bad.
But
there's a possibility of Tebow.
Yeah, with Alonso, J.D. Davis, they don't need another power bat. And Tebow's literally a strikeout power bat. That's what he is. So I think Tebow's baseball career needs to be over. And, man, if you can go make him a quarterback in a spring league, he should be good there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd be really excited, and I think it would be something good. I would love Tebow, Manziel, and Kaepernick would bring automatic star power right away to that.
See, the thing is, I feel like the XFL, I know I'm bringing this up again, but I feel like the XFL needs to go along like the lines of like the big three.
Absolutely.
Like the big three works. It actually works. I'm surprised by it, but it does work.
Yeah, sign Des Bryant. Bring Des Bryant into the XFL.
Like bring people that, they might not be like what it was the greatest in the NFL, or bring older players and like let them have fun. It gives you names and it gives experience to the game.
What was the funnest part about the AAF? Noticing players that used to play for like your own team. Like we had Jalen Marshall.
Yeah.
And we had certain guys that we gravitated to as Jets fans, and we were like, we know them. Stephen Hill, I was hoping he dropped every pass, which I think he did anyway. But guys like that, like you notice these names. A name will bring you. And again, yeah, definitely. Johnny Manziel would bring instant recognition, and they need these guys. They need these guys more than these guys need them. That's just the bottom line.
Exactly. All right. Since I brought up the big three, we'll switch over to basketball since that's our next topic.
Smooth transition.
So the Lake Show made their biggest offseason acquisition. They signed Dwight Howard again. I'm a little excited about it. I feel like Dwight Howard has been kind of shafted in the terms of his rep recently. I feel like he's done a lot in his career, and a lot of people are just remembering for what has happened basically after the whole Lakers debacle, like everything after that. They're not very good to Dwight Howard and what he's brought to the NBA. I want to know, like, do you think it's going to work out for the Lakers? Do you think he'll be able to gel with them? I mean, Boogie, it seemed like he would gel with them well. He already played with Anthony Davis before and Rondo. But do you think Dwight Howard could gel just as well? I mean, he won't have the perimeter shooting, but he is a big body down low.
Well, if you look at the options that they were working out, it was between Dwight, Joakim Noah, who had a decent resurgent year last year after his debacle with the Knicks, and Maurice Spates, who is an international style player. He can shoot the ball.
Yes.
You look at Dwight, I feel like Dwight actually might end up not being better than Boogie, but kind of gelling better than Boogie, because Boogie is still young enough in his career where he wants to still be one of the guys. He wants to be one of the big three, and if not the star of the team. That's still his goal. Where Dwight has been a role player now for so many teams, and he's still bringing his 16 and 12, 15 and 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he averaged a double-double last year.
Exactly. So he's still bringing that. So he's okay now with playing second, third fiddle, and he knows he's third fiddle on this team, maybe even fourth behind Kuzma. And he's not making – you haven't heard Dwight Howard making big stinks in the locker room anymore because he knows he's not the star of any team right now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in his role next to Anthony Davis – what's the biggest advantage for any big man that likes to shoot and score? To have another big man in there to take the beating.
Mm-hmm.
Dwight Howard's going to be able to happily take that beating. He likes being down there and banging. He will put back dunks on missed shots. He will grab boards like a psycho. I think this fits really good as long as him and LeBron don't butt heads, and I don't think they're going to at this point in Dwight's career.
I don't think they're going to. I feel Dwight seems like he's really matured. Like he's very much matured. Like he even like went over the whole Kobe calling him soft thing. I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah.
And like he's very mature now. Like you said, he knows what he is. He's a role player, but yeah, he can still get buckets. He can still make all the plays a big man like him needs to make. He's just not Superman Dwight anymore. Maybe we'll see that for a couple games. Maybe he'll have like a Derrick Rose kind of game where it's not 50, but it's still a ridiculous stat line.
Yeah, it'll be against the Nets because for whatever reason, every time Dwight plays the Nets or big men that used to be great play the Nets, they end up grabbing like 73 rebounds.
Yeah.
Drummond does it to him. Dwight does it to him. And it doesn't matter who our big man is. It didn't matter when it was, Brooke Lopez or Andre Blatch or any of our big men. Now, currently, Jared Allen or when we had Ed Davis. Like, it didn't matter. He would just eat up boards.
Yeah.
So I think I think he's going to have a good year in terms of rebounding and putting back. He's not going to be the star, and I think that's okay. Will he help them win a championship? Absolutely, he can help them win a championship because come playoff time, you need him. You need guys like him.
Yes.
So I think it's a good fit. I actually, as much as I like Boogie, I think it might end up being better than what the Boogie Cousins fit was going to be.
I mean, it's the Boogie. Everything about Boogie is this. It's a tragedy. It's a Shakespearean tragedy that is happening to Boogie right now, and he needs to find a way out of it. But I do feel good for Dwight. I feel like he deserves to be able to play on an NBA team, just like I feel like Melo deserves to play on an NBA team. Like, these are players that should still be getting respect. And, like, they still have ability. They still have the skill to play. So I feel good for this. I feel like the Lakers did get a good acquisition here. Dwight will help the team.
I'm going to be really sad when we see Melo in a Three's Company uniform for the Big Three.
I know.
Really sad because that seems like where he is ending up right now.
Yes, but maybe, and this is a very small possibility, maybe he shows out so much there that he might get a year in the NBA.
Brooklyn,
maybe.
Go sign Melo, so when we're better in the Knicks, he can give them the finger, period.
I mean, the most fun part, though, is to see him dominate like Joe Johnson does. It's disgusting, dude.
Yeah, Joe Jesus is still good. I miss Joe Jesus. All right, keeping with the NBA. There was a poll, which now I think they've said they've done it for the past few years. I never heard of the poll before this year.
I want to say they did.
I've never heard of it. But then again, I've never paid attention to much of that stuff. But it caught my eye here because NBA rookies voted on a bevy of topics. The main thing is, who did they feel was going to have the best career amongst their fellow rookies? You would think it would be Zion because Zion seems very amicable to everyone and he's extremely talented. No. First and foremost, they said Cam Reddish was going to have the best career. 19% of them said that. Then Ja Morant, 16%, number 2. Hunter, 11%, number 3. Zion was tied with Barrett, Kobe White, and Jackson Hayes at 5%. I'm shocked. How do you feel about this?
I'm pretty shocked, too. I would think Zion would at least get more than 5%. That's the thing. Like, Morant, I'm not really shocked about. Cam Reddish, I am shocked about. It's weird. I do wonder, like, I was the question itself who's going to have the best career among fellow rookies, or did they try to find that through multiple questions?
No. That was one of the actual questions was, who do you think out of your draft class is going to – and for me, this scares me because that means that they think the peak of their draft class is Harrison Barnes. I don't see Cam Reddish being a superstar ever.
I don't either, but hey, stranger things have happened. But, I mean – I feel that maybe the rookies are taking into account like some team situations, even though that still doesn't work with it.
Not
like with Zion being at 5. No, this one's very strange to me. Like Cam Reddish, he has ability, but I don't think he's going to be a great in the NBA.
He would have to develop tremendously because I've been on record in saying that him and RJ Barrett both scare me because when Zion was out at Duke, neither of them could take over and make sure Duke was the dominant team. They shrunk under collegiate pressure against a lot less talent. So they scare the hell out of me.
No, I completely understand that. But it's just weird. It just came out very different.
And I think like the last 4 guys that the rookies said would have great careers have all been super mediocre. I read a stat. I think one of them was Jabari Parker, and he hasn't done anything. It's sort of but he's I think the first guy that's gone against the conventional wisdom of the best 2-3 players to come out of that class. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the rookies, they have the experience of college play, but they don't have experience of NBA players. So that's part of the thing here. That maybe they're just looking at certain ability that Cam Reddish has, and they think it'll translate to the NBA, but you never know what happens in the NBA. Things just go crazy. I mean, IT comes out 5'0" and goes crazy in the playoffs. Like it's the NBA can never be entirely guessed at.
I do like that John Morant's up there because I agree that John Morant's going to have the best career out of all of them.
Well,
I think it is so geared towards a player like him.
Yeah. I mean, his passing ability, his passing vision is insane, and he can get a bucket. As a point guard, that helps.
Yeah.
Especially now. You need to be able to get a bucket and make the pass.
Absolutely. So we have some more time. Dave, do you want to talk about some more stuff?
Sure, if you would like to.
All right. What do you want to bring up? Go ahead.
Let's go over this USA loss because I've seen some memes about it, and it's pretty funny. The fact that Team USA lost to Patty Mills dropping 30 on them in Australia. That's a little scary. It's a little scary for Team USA.
Yeah, I think it's their first loss in 113 international games or something like that.
Yes, it's a streak that has been snapped for Team USA that should not be snapped. It really shouldn't. At least not yet. There is not enough international players that are good enough to be able to beat a USA team. I mean, a lot of players have dropped out of Team USA. A lot of players just said, nah, I'm not playing this year. I have things more important to worry about in the NBA, which is fair because, I mean, it's FIBA. Not many people are really caring too much about FIBA other than international people. Like, USA does care, but not as much. We have the NBA. But still, there's a lot of talent. We shouldn't be losing to Patty Mills dropping 30. It's that simple. Listen, I don't hate Patty Mills, but Patty Mills is not a great player. He's a good player. He knows his role. He plays it well. But he is not a great player. He should not be doing that to you. It's that simple.
So I'm not concerned at all. You know, this team is going to need time to gel. They need to figure out their hierarchy. They need to figure out who is their, you know, obviously Kemba's the guy. But besides
Kemba has to be the guy.
Kemba and Donovan Mitchell are both the guy. Harrison Barnes is the veteran. But where do they all fall besides that? That is the real question. And you look at the team, mention Barnes, mention Donovan Mitchell, mention Kemba Walker. They are all, the rest of the guys that make it up are Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics, Joe Harris of the Nets, Brook Lopez of the Bucks, Chris Middleton of the Bucks, Mason Plumlee of the Nuggets, Marcus Smart of the Celtics, Jason Tatum, Celtics, Miles Turner, and Derek White of the Spurs.
Yes.
So there's names that you know, but not necessarily superstar names. But I'm not concerned, though, because they're good.
They're all good enough. But that's the thing, though. Why? Like, even without gelling, I feel like they should still have been able to beat Australia. Australia is a good team. They have a lot of good players coming from Australia. But we should still be able to beat them. I mean, you think about those names are not no names. They aren't. They simply aren't. Everybody that follows the NBA at least a little bit knows those names. Other than Joe Harris. Joe Harris may be the only one that people don't know.
Yeah, I think Joe Harris and Derek White are the two guys that are like the opposite.
Derek White showed out in the playoffs.
He did.
So his name is better, is out there more. But everyone else, you know those names. Jason Tatum is the next coming of the Messiah for the Celtics. Oh, so, like, I mean, like, this team should not be, like, you shouldn't be losing. The USA doesn't lose in basketball. There is a very high platinum standard for Team USA. So that's the problem.
I think they're going to be fine. I think we will see Team USA lose some games in terms of the getting in. What they usually play like a pool first. It's a FIBA style. So I think we will see some losses. I think it's going to be not the dominant team. I still think they're going to get the gold. Losing Kuzma left because of a left ankle injury, and it didn't want him. They don't want him to get hurt anymore. And the guy that gets hurt is going to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to hurt because Kuzma did bring a lot to the team. In their win against Australia, he was the catalyst, scoring 12 points at all the right times.
Yes.
But I think this team's going to be fine. If you look at the guys on the team with Mitchell and Kemba leading the charge, you have the three-point shooting of Joe Harris and Chris Middleton, which is going to be fantastic. Mm-hmm. And Brook Lopez, you can add him to that. Then you also have Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all being able to make plays on their own. Marcus Smart's physical and emotional. And Miles Turner, Derek White, Harrison Barnes are all going to be bangers. I think they're fine.
No, they'll be fine. The problem is you don't lose. then that's the only thing. Just don't lose. I'm sorry that's the standard for Team USA. Whenever you lose, there's like a bar with percentages. Whenever you lose, it clocks up another like 20% of the next redeemed team that's coming out. It's that simple. Like
the doomsday clock.
Yes, there's a doomsday clock, a doomsday bar filling up every time you lose for Team USA. We do not lose in basketball. We lose in soccer. That's not our sport. Basketball, we do not lose in. It's that simple.
All right, so here's to hoping, and I did mention Joe Harris and Brook Lopez. Shout out Brooklyn Nets. Former Net Brook Lopez, the best scorer ever for the Nets, apparently, because he's the all-time leader. And Joe Harris, who's the best three-point shooter, one of them in Nets history. Shout out to those two for making the team. And moving on. We're going to go back a little bit to the NFL. I'm so tired of divas. We've had them forever, but now they're very much known, and I know I've talked about it. But one position where there aren't supposed to be divas as much is the running back position. They're supposed to be the tough, rough-nosed guys. We've seen Le'Veon Bell last year sit out. Now there's the Zeke saga. Jerry Jones clearly made a joke. Clearly. They asked about, talked about Pollard and his great game, and then they talked about, someone asked him about Zeke, and he clearly made a joke when he was like, oh, Zeke who? And then it comes out that Zeke is mad over Jerry Jones making a joke. Oh, my God. I don't know if this is his agent pushing to put this out there to say, it just gives you a little more leverage, or if he's just that much of a baby that you're mad at him making a joke. How many times you make a joke of the other team when you run somebody over and get a big first down? Are they supposed to sit there, cross their legs in the field, and start crying? I don't know. Dave, that pissed me off.
I mean, yeah, it's a little much. But I feel like with all the contract disputes going on, I mean, I can't remember if this came out before or after they gave Smith the big contract.
I think it was right after.
It was right after. What wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like that puts a little more into there's a lot going on with a lot of different contracts that the Cowboys need to get underway. I feel like Jerry. Obviously, it was a joke, but I feel like Jerry what are you doing making that joke at that time, my man? You're trying to get this guy. I feel like you should know that it's going to be a lot harder winning without him. And if you know you've seen this guy for a couple years now, you should know how he feels. You should know what he'll listen to, what he'll be approachable with. You want him on your team, don't you? You're not going to want to piss him off at all. Even if he is being sensitive about it, you're not going to want to piss him off. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is that, let's say he doesn't sign, and then maybe he'll move on to another team in the future, and then he's going to hurt your Cowboys with vengeance games that are going to be all over the news, and you guys aren't going to win a Super Bowl that you guys should be going towards this year. So I feel like Jerry Jones, being the owner that he is for how long he has, made a little bit of a mistake with that. And obviously Zeke and his agent are taking it. They're a little they're sensitive about it. They shouldn't be, but they are. I feel like if you're a little upset, you should just be like, all right, then. It's either you're paying me the most or I'm going to find another team eventually, and then you're going to be very hurt. I feel like you don't need to put these statements out. You don't. You really don't.
Everyone, that was David's first big rant on the show. Enjoy it. That was awesome. But I partially agree. Jerry Jones did come out a little defensive when someone asked him about it, and he was like, I have the right to make jokes. I have earned the right in this league. My relationship with Zeke is good. I've earned the right to make jokes, so back off. But it seems like he heard it because he tried to make amends because it came out that apparently they made him an offer that would put him among the top 2 in terms of running backs.
Yeah.
So it has to be a pretty good offer.
Yeah.
So they made him a good offer, and then Stephen Jones came out and said he's confident that Zeke will be there for week 1. So that means that they are going to pay him. They are going to make him happy. They are eventually going to concede, but it's just how much can they keep in their pockets as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not concerned with Zeke coming there, but it just kind of, that type of stuff annoys me because it's like, man, aren't you supposed to be tough? Aren't football players supposed to be tough? I get it. We're humans. We get annoyed. But over that type of joke, you know what? If Jerry Jones came out and was like, oh, what do you feel about Zeke? And if he was like, nothing, Pollard's our guy, okay, that would piss me off. But to joke around and be like, Zeke who? Like, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal at all. I just feel like in the situation you have to, you know what you're in. You know what you're doing. It's just, obviously, if you're going to make the guy mad, be mindful of it because you want him on your team. It's that simple.
All right, so last topic, something that could end up being a big deal. ESPN's shakeup over the last 5-6 years is continuing as they are trying to figure out who they are as a network, if they're a political sports network, if they're just a sports network, do they tell stories, do they only do highlights, how they're going to do everything. And one of the things that they've been doing is NBA Countdown. Over the past 2 years, I think, it's consisted of Michelle Beadle, Chauncey Billups, and Paul Pierce. Well, Michelle Beadle has now just been fired from her second job within a year. She was out in Wake Up or whatever it was with Greeny, her and stuff, out with that. And now she's out in NBA Countdown. So her career with ESPN could be in jeopardy.
Yes.
But Billups is gone. Paul Pierce might come back. There's room for him to come back. But I got to say, I didn't watch the damn thing. I didn't think they were entertaining. I significantly like Shaq, Charles Barkley,
easily,
Benny the Jet,
easily the best one.
I think I like them significantly better. I thought that this group was pretty bland. The only thing you might get was Chauncey Billups saying something that's not correct every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, Paul Pierce, at least people reacted to Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is useful as well.
That's because Paul Pierce also said outlandish stuff.
Exactly. And that, sometimes you need that.
Yeah, but Paul Pierce might come back. Now, the rumor is that taking over, they can't really decide between Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols. They're both good hosts. Rachel Nichols hosts The Jump right now, which is
already has The Jump.
NBA. Yeah. So she's been wanting to come into NBA Countdown, apparently. And they might bring in Jay Williams and Richard Jefferson. I'm not as hot on Jay Williams. I think Jay Williams is just much of the same of what you got from Chauncey Billups and Paul Pierce. Richard Jefferson is on the rise. So
Richard Jefferson, he is a funny man. he's good. He is good up there. I'll give him that. I mean, Jay Williams, I feel like he'll at least be a nice foil. You can't have it'll be good. He'll be more of a static guy. RJ will be more dynamic, and I feel like Rachel Nichols would be a good choice. She's good on her jump. So.
See, as much as people don't like them, Ryan Hollins and Jalen Rose are both two guys that I think would be lots of fun to have up there with Richard Jefferson. I feel like he would be – I think they should go to the model that TNT does where they have two guys who are kind of ridiculous and one guy who's kind of the straight man, where you have, Shaq and Charles hate each other but love each other. And then Kenny's there just to get made fun of because he doesn't have a championship.
Yeah.
And that's really that's what it is. And I feel like you'd have fun having RJ there and then maybe a Jalen or Ryan Hollins, who are both kind of shock jocks in their own way, but they do have a lot of good points. And then either Jay, Paul Pierce, or somebody there to be kind of like the straight man.
Yeah. Now, that's how you kind of need to run it. I mean, that's how a lot of things that deal with entertainment run. You need to have your dynamic guy and you have a straight guy. Otherwise, it does not work. It just won't work. I feel, and maybe they can fix their NBA Countdown. I still don't think it's going to live up to the TNT with Shaq. Shaq and Charles are ridiculously good together. And Kenny is great there. They have the personality. I don't think they have any personalities there at ESPN. RJ may be able to get up to that at one point, but they don't have it. They simply don't.
Now, you look at it, and ESPN has had this current obsession with having a female host it, which I have no problem with females hosting. If they are talented enough to do it and they're putting it on there, that is not an issue at all. But if there was a male, right now, Ernie Johnson's the host for NBA on TNT, and he has,
yes,
and he's fantastic.
Oh, Ernie Johnson's great, yeah.
And he's with 3 other males, and that show works. And there are plenty of women that are great sportscasters, but I feel like they kind of forced Michelle Beadle, where I feel like Rachel Nichols will be a smooth transition because of her NBA background, but
yes,
there are other great NBA minds just on that network that doesn't have to necessarily be a female. Do you feel like they're kind of forcing having the female on there at all times?
I mean, with a lot of their shows, it kind of seems like it. It does. maybe they think it'll bring a little more viewership from like different kinds of markets out there. I don't know, but listen, I feel like Rachel Nichols is probably the only one that'll really work because, like I said, the jump is at least decent enough. Like she does it well, and like the jump is not a bad time watching it. So I feel like she's the only one that will truly work with NBA Countdown. I don't know what guy that is a host would work because I honestly have not been following ESPN recently. I don't know who's there, but yeah, out of all the women they have, I feel like Rachel Nichols is the best choice for that.
And you bring up a point because unfortunately, I think like their next guy in line would be Mike Greenberg, and he has been nobody without
exactly.
Rachel. So Rachel Nichols is obviously the best choice in terms of talent, but I was just kind of bringing up that they are kind of forcing it down everybody's throat. Where
it definitely does seem like it. I feel like every show has at least a woman host.
Yep. But anyway, with that, ESPN, don't screw this up like you have been. But that's going to end this episode of the newly rebranded Cuesta Dos. David, do you like the new title? I do.
I do. I enjoy it. I feel like it really brings out the flair of the show.
It is the winner of the Twitter poll, but it was suggested by our lovely and amazing mother, Adele Cuesta. So thank you, Mom.
Yes.
You know, as everything, you make our lives easier and better. But again, I am Alex Cuesta. He is David Cuesta. You can find him on Twitter at dcuesta308 because he doesn't even know his own Twitter.
See, thanks. See, just do it for me. I don't know it.
I'm going to. And I am on Twitter and Instagram at @_Cuesta30. Find Sports Opinions on Twitter at SportsOpinion30, Instagram, SportsOpinions30. Visit the Facebook page and listen to this podcast, the other renditions, which were Cuesta Corner, now Cuesta Dos, and all of my interviews on the regular Sports Opinions proper. And don't forget, Personal Foul Podcast with Colton Gesser is under the Sports Opinions umbrella. Listen to that too. And when you listen to any of them, rate them and review them 5 stars. Give them a great review because we're all good. So with that, David, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Bye, everyone. Hopefully it's another fun sports week. Maybe not with someone that's pretty young retiring, but another fun sports week all in all.
And we'll talk about Antonio Brown next week.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It has to happen.
And again, this was Cuesta Dos. Everybody, have a good one.
Sports opinions.